Hi lovelies, you're welcome back to my channel. If you're a returning subscriber, you're welcome back. Today I'm going to be cutting a butterfly net gown. As you can see here, the measurements are already placed out on my screen. So now I folded this by 2 and I folded another one at the back by 2. So I'm going to be using one of these, which is this one here, for the front part, and the second one for the back part. As you can see, it doesn't have any slit and the middle part. So now the next thing I'm going to do now, how to get how wide you want the wideness of this butterfly to be. First of all, measure the shoulder measurement plus your sleeve length, then you add it together. Whatever you get is how wide it's going to be. Now after doing that, I'll go ahead to take the full length of this butterfly gown. So I left about ½ inch from the top part before I started taking the measurement. Then I left 1 inch to fold this at the down part. So guys, if you notice, one part of this butterfly side is shortened, and this is because of I was trying to like make it not to be too wide. So that's the reason why I um cut out the design at that particular part. So what I'm going to do is to cut back the design and then I'll place it back there. So I measured what I have on the other part, which is 3 inches. When I want to cut out the design for the other side, I'll cut out 3.5 inches. So after I cut it out, I'll go ahead to attach it this way. So as you can see, the other side of the butterfly is going to be having this design at the this design of the lace part. So for the wideness of the neck, I'm making use of 4 inches for the wideness of the neck. It depends on how wide the client wants it to be. Now I'm going to minus ½ inch for my stitching allowance to close the shoulder part. Then from there I'll mark down to 7 inches. This is how deep I want the neck to be. So total of what I have for the neck depth now is 7.5 inches. So ½ inch for the stitching allowance for the shoulder to join the back and the front shoulder together. Now the 7 inches for is for the depth of the neck. I'll go ahead and connect it this way. In butterfly gown, you need the neck wideness to be a little bit wide. So take note on how wide you want the neck to be because sizes differs. So now for the back part, I'll be making use of that same 4 inches for the neck wideness, as you can see here. Then I'll be coming down by 2.5 inches for the neck depth, ½ inch for the stitching allowance, and then 2 inches for the normal neck depth. So now I'll go ahead and connect it this way. So after doing that, I'll go ahead to cut it out. So now to cut this out, I'm not going to be cutting on that exact mark. I'm going to leave about ½ inch and then I will just cut it this way. So that ½ inch is for me to use it to sew my bias to fold it. So I will not be expanding the neck part more. Now I'm going to do the same thing to the front part. I will leave about ½ inch before cutting on that line I have for the front neckline this way, as you can see. So now for the back part, this is how it is already. Also for the front part, now I realize that the back part is a little bit high, so I still came down by extra 2 inches, making 4.5 inches that I came down by for the back part, ½ inch for the stitching allowance for the shoulder, then 4 inches for the length, the neck depth. Now I'll just go ahead and cut out with ½ inch this way. So you can make use of 5 inch depending on how deep you want the back to be or how deep you want the front to be. Now this is all for this. I'll go ahead to cut out that net design to complete the other side of this butterfly gown. So I'll cut out 3.5 inches from here. Normally what I'm supposed to cut out is 3 inches, but because of the half inch to join this to the main body, that's the reason why I'm marking out 3.5 inches. So 3 inches for the main measurement that I need, the main addition, and then half inch for stitching it together with the main butterfly gown. So I'll go ahead and then cut this out. Now this is the main butterfly gown. This is the main gown. I'm going to go ahead and place this way so you understand better what I'm explaining. So I'm going to stitch this all round from the shoulder part. I'll stitch it at the front part, then I'll also stitch it at the back part. This is only going to be on the one side of this butterfly gown. Now to sew this, I went ahead to start sewing the back part first. I don't know why. So to pipe the neck part, I'm making use of a white bias. As you can see, it has like a three layer. The first layer to sew this, the second layer to fold, and the last layer to top stitch with it. So now I placed this from the front, main front of this net, then I started sewing it. Now take note, when sewing this, don't drag it with force so that it will not make the neck to be too wide after sewing it. Now I'll go ahead and sew this carefully till I get to the other shoulder part, which is here, as you can see. After doing that, I'll cut this and then I'll notch it. When notching it, just take your time, don't rush it so you will not notch both the part that you just finished sewing. Now after doing this, I'm going to be folding this way to towards the back part, as you can see, and then I will top stitch on it this way. So after I'm done sewing the back neckline with my bias, I'll also do the same thing for the front part. This same way I'm doing for the back neckline is the same thing I'm going to be doing for the front neckline. So please, when sewing, make sure you don't drag with force because this is a net material. Now after I'm done top stitching it, this is how neat this is looking, as you can see. After I'm done using the bias to will I say pipe the neckline, this is how neat is looking, as you can see. Now I'm done doing the same thing for the front neckline, and this is how the front neckline is. Now the next thing I will do is to add that 3.5 inches net mouth, that is that design part that I cut out to complete the side of this butterfly gown. Remember, I cut out 3.5 inches when I was cutting this butterfly gown to complete one side of the butterfly gown. So I'm going to attach it on the front part and also on the back part of this butterfly gown. So I did this because I want both parts to have this design at the mouth. That's the reason why I did it like that. And if I say let me cut it, it's going to be too big for my client, so I had to do cuts and later join that design part. So if I'm going to be weaving this, so I'm not going to top stitch this yet. Now the next thing I'm going to be doing is to join, this is the front part, I'm going to join the shoulder part together. Now if you are not weaving this, just go ahead to join the shoulder part before using your bias to sew this round together. But because I'm going to be weaving it, that's the reason why I separately biased the back and the front part. So I'll go ahead and use that half inch I left when I was cutting this to stitch the shoulder part. So this is the left part that I added that 3.5 inches I cut out earlier for the to complete the wideness of this butterfly gown. So this is the left part. I placed it at the front part and also at the back part to complete the wideness of this butterfly gown, because I wanted to have this particular lace mouth. That's the reason why I did it this way. So I'll go ahead and also use half inch to stitch the shoulder part of the other side. Now after doing that, this is how it's looking. As you can see, this is how it is. The next thing I'm going to do is to use my pin to secure this very well. I'll place this very well, then use my pin to secure it. And then after doing that, from the front part is where I'm going to be taking my measurement. As you can see, now I've gone ahead to fold this by 2 after using pin to pin this all round, so that one part will not be longer than the other part, or one part will be shorter than the other part. Now from my shoulder to my armhole measurement, to my client armhole measurement is 10 inches, that is 20 inches divided by 2. Then from her shoulder to her waist is 18 inches. Then from her shoulder to her hip point is around 27 inches. Then I went ahead to just use my chalk to give from the hip line, do it as a line gown, as you can see. Now I, from on that armhole part, I took the bust measurement of my client, and then on the waist line I minus 1 inch from the bust measurement that I marked there, and then I placed her hip measurement. Mind you, when I was taking the measurement for this client, I did not make it to be tight on her body. I made it to be very free on her body. Then from that hip part, I just shape it as a line to the down part. Now I use my chalk to do the same thing on the other side. I'm sorry guys that I didn't place this on a table to actually show you more of it, but I hope with this my little explanation you can understand, or you understand what I'm trying to explain. Now after doing that, I'll go ahead and then open this way from the front part, because I'm going to be shaping, to shape a butterfly gown you have to shape it from the front part. Now from that armhole part that I took the bust measurement is where I'm going to start shaping from. So I'll just go ahead and follow that line that I mark with my chalk all the way down, and I will do the same thing on the other part too, following the line I marked out with my chalk. Now when you get to the down part, leave about 1 inch. Don't stitch it to the down of this the net, because I still later went ahead to lose this to open about 1 inch, because I'm going to be folding it with 1 inch. So when doing sewing yours, don't leave about 1 inch and stop your stitching, your shaping there. Now this is how it's looking after I'm done shaping both parts. This is the front of it, as you can see. So the next thing I did is I went ahead to fold this with 1 inch at the down part, as you can see. So this my client already has an inner lining that she uses to wear her net gown. She already said it matches this particular one. And guys, this is a finished look of this net butterfly gown. Please don't forget to subscribe, share, comment, like. I'll see you in my next video. Bye.